If you're exhausted, not just physically, but soul deep tired, this message is for you. If you've been lying awake at night with a mind that won't quiet down, if you've been smiling in front of people while quietly falling apart inside, if somewhere along the way you started wondering whether any of this, the effort, the sacrifice, the holding on, is actually worth it, keep watching. Because I don't think you ended up here by accident. There's something happening in your life right now that brought you to this exact video, at this exact moment. And what I'm about to share with you might be the thing you've been waiting to hear for a very long time. Let me start with something real. Right now, in the United States alone, over 40 million adults are living with anxiety. Not worry, not stress. Clinical anxiety, the kind that follows you to work, sits with you at the dinner table, and climbs into bed with you at night. 1 in 5 Americans will experience a major depressive episode in their lifetime. And the loneliness crisis, before it even had that name, has been quietly destroying people from the inside out. We live in the most connected era in human history. We have the internet in our pockets. We can talk to someone across the world in seconds. And yet, so many of us have never felt more alone. So if you're sitting there right now feeling like something is missing, feeling like your life was supposed to look different by now, feeling behind or lost, or like you're just going through the motions, I need you to know that what you're feeling is real, and it matters, and there is a reason you're still here. There's a verse in the Bible, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. You've probably seen it on a coffee mug or a motivational poster. But I need you to hear it. Actually hear it. Maybe for the first time. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Now, before you scroll past that because it sounds like something your grandmother had cross-stitched on a pillow, I want you to understand the context of that verse. Because the context changes everything. That promise wasn't made to people who had it together. It wasn't spoken over people on their best day. It was spoken to the Israelites, God's own people, who were living as captives in Babylon. They had lost their homes. They had lost their freedom. They had been ripped away from everything familiar and dropped in a foreign land with no clear way out. Many of them had given up hope entirely. Some of them were furious at God. Some felt completely abandoned. And that is when he said it. That is when the message came through. Not at the victory celebration. Not at the mountaintop moment. In the middle of the captivity. In the middle of the confusion. In the middle of the wondering if any of this is going to be okay. That's the moment the promise was spoken. So I want to ask you something. And I need you to sit with this for a second. What is your Babylon right now? For some of you, it's a career that feels like it's swallowing you whole. You went to school. You did everything right. You got the job. And now you wake up on Monday morning and feel something in your chest that you can't quite name, but it doesn't feel like purpose. It feels like survival. For some of you, it's a relationship, or the absence of one. You've given so much of yourself to someone, or to the idea of someone, and you're running low, emptied out, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever feel truly seen by another person. For some of you, it's the pressure, the never-ending, suffocating, social media amplified pressure to have the right body, the right apartment, the right life story by a certain age. And you scroll through other people's highlight reels and feel this quiet shame that you don't even fully understand. For some of you, it's grief. Something or someone you lost that you haven't fully allowed yourself to mourn. Because there's always something that needs to be done, someone who needs you to be okay, some reason to keep it together just a little longer. That's your Babylon. That's the place where the promise was made for you, too. Here's what I want you to understand about that verse, about those words, that most people completely miss. God didn't say, I know the plans I have for you once you figure yourself out. He didn't say, I know the plans I have for you after the season of struggle is over. He said, I know the plans. Present tense. Right now. In the middle of the mess. In the middle of the season that makes no sense. When you can't see the next step. When you've made mistakes you're not sure you can come back from. When you feel like you've wasted too much time to start over. When the person you used to be seems very far away. He knows the plans. That means your confusion is not the final chapter. That means the detour you're on right now, the painful, disorienting, pride-stripping detour, might actually be the path. Not the wrong path. The path. I want to tell you something about the nature of timing. Because we are obsessed with timing in this culture. We have timelines for everything. First job by 22. Married by 27. House by 30. Kids by 32. Retirement by 65. And if you're not on the schedule, if life threw you something that knocked you off the track, our culture has a very quiet, very cruel way of making you feel like a failure. But here's the truth that nobody frames on their wall. The people who changed the world almost never did it on schedule. Moses was 80 years old when he led the Israelites out of Egypt. He spent 40 years as a fugitive in the desert before God called him to his purpose. 40 years. Not a gap year. 40 years. Abraham Lincoln failed in business twice, lost 8 elections, had a nervous breakdown, and didn't become president until he was 52. Vera Wang didn't design her first wedding gown until she was 40. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 78. I'm not telling you this to give you false comfort. I'm telling you this because the narrative we've built around timing, around being behind, around wasted years, around it being too late, is a lie. And that lie might be the heaviest thing you're carrying right now. There's something else in that verse I want you to sit with. The word hope. In the original Hebrew, the word translated as hope in Jeremiah 29 verse 11 is the word tikva. And tikva doesn't just mean a wish or a feeling. The root of the word means a cord, a thread, something you hold on to, something that connects you from where you are to where you're going. That's not optimism. Optimism is a mood. This is something structural. This is a cord. Something woven into the fabric of your existence that holds the future to you even when you can't see the future. Even when you've let go of every other reason to keep going, you still have the cord. I want to talk about something that we don't say out loud enough in this culture. Sometimes the reason we feel so lost is because we are living someone else's life. Not on purpose. We absorb it. From our parents who had expectations. From a culture that told us what success was supposed to look like before we were old enough to decide for ourselves. From a version of ourselves that we built to survive, not to live. And slowly, without realizing it, we drifted from the thing we were actually made for. And then one day, maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's a quiet Sunday afternoon, maybe it's right now, watching this video, something in you wakes up. And it says, this isn't it. I know this isn't it. That feeling, that ache, don't run from it. That's not depression talking. That's not ingratitude. That's not weakness. That's your soul telling you that you were built for more than what you're currently settling for. And that voice, that quiet, persistent, sometimes inconvenient voice, is one of the most important things you will ever listen to. Here's where this gets real. The verse says plans to prosper you. But prosperity in this context, in the original language, doesn't mean money. The Hebrew word is shalom, and shalom means wholeness, peace, everything in its right place. Not the absence of struggle, but a deep, foundational okayness that doesn't depend on your circumstances. That is what's being offered here. Not a guarantee that everything will be easy. Not a promise that the hard seasons are over, but a deep, unshakable knowing that you are not forgotten, that you are not an accident, that the life inside of you has a direction, even when you can't feel it. And I think, if you're honest with yourself, there have been moments when you did feel it. Moments where something clicked, where you were fully alive, where time disappeared, where you forgot to be afraid, where something in you said, yes, this, more of this. What was that? Where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? I'm asking because that thread, that tikva, is still there. It never left. You just buried it under deadlines and disappointments and the weight of other people's opinions. So here's what I need you to hear as we get to the end of this. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond what can be healed. You are not too far gone, too far off course, too damaged, too late. You are in the middle of a story that is still being written. And the author of that story, the one who placed that ache in your chest, that longing in your soul, that quiet knowing that there's more, he hasn't lost the plot. But here's the part where you have to show up. Because faith without action is just a feeling. Starting today, not someday, not after things settle down. Today, do one thing that moves you toward the life you were actually made for. One conversation you've been avoiding. One step toward the thing you keep putting off. One moment of honesty with yourself about where you've been giving away your energy to things that don't actually matter to you. Stop performing. Start listening to the still, small voice that has been trying to reach you through the noise, through the overloaded schedules, the numbing scrolling, the busyness you use as armor. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the next honest step. And here's the thing about that verse one more time. It was written to people in exile, to people who felt abandoned, to people who couldn't see the way forward. And it found them, just like this video found you. Not by coincidence, not by accident, but because somewhere in the universe, there is a frequency that knows your name, and it has been broadcasting a message in your direction for a very long time. The message is this: you were never forgotten. The plan was never canceled. And the best parts of your story, the parts that will make everything you've been through make sense, have not been written yet. Hold on to that, even if it's just a thread, because threads become cords, and cords hold weight. And maybe, just maybe, this message found you for a reason.